Hello, how's it going? CPF, consistency, frequency and persistency. Three words that really need to become a mantra for us in our lives and business because they are incredibly important to getting where you want to be, becoming successful in whatever that means to you. They are vital. If you don't do these three things, then you may as well just not bother because it won't work. Now, I have been in the past the most inconsistent, I don't know what the opposite of persistent is, but the most non-persistent person and infrequent person in life and in business. I wouldn't show up. I wouldn't do things on a regular basis. I'd do the old thing of, joining a gym in January, go 2 or 3 times, have a break, go 2 or 3 times, and then slowly it would just slope off. And as a consequence of that, I wouldn't lose the weight, I wouldn't build any muscle, and it was just a complete waste of money. In fact, when I first came down to Folkestone, I joined one of these gyms where you have to pay for a year up front. And I went 3 or 4 times. It was a bit too far out of town for me. And usual story, I went for a couple of months and signed up for a year. Me thinking that I could get away with it, I stopped paying, and guess what? They didn't send the bailiffs round, but they sent me lots of very polite letters saying, you signed a 1-year contract, Mr. Wilson, regardless of whether you turned up for your sessions or not. And I figured out that's how gyms make their money a lot of the time. All these people sign up at the beginning of the year and they sign up for a 1-year contract and they stop going. That is, a really good example of how being inconsistent affects your life. Now, in business, if you want to get more clients, if you want to do more deals, if you want to, get yourself out there, we need to be consistent. We need to do whatever it is we do to get our names out there on a regular basis. Now, I didn't invent this little phrase. It comes from a guy called Mark Whitehand, who runs a group called Stents VIP that I'm a member of. And it is incredibly important. You may have noticed, I go live every morning at around about 7:30 every single morning, Saturdays and Sundays included, because then people that want to follow me, people that want to find out what I'm talking about, they can tune in at around about 7:30 and they'll know I'll be live. It's like having the milk delivered. Your milk is delivered at 7:30 every morning, if that ever happens anymore. And so you can go outside, get your new pint of milk and have your coffee. And that's what I do. Every morning, 7:30, you can tune in to Paul, see what he's on about. Do I want to listen? Has he got something interesting to say today? And that's for you to decide. But it's down to me to be consistent and be there every single day at the time I said I was going to be there. And then you can decide whether or not you want to watch me and listen to what I have to say. The next one is frequency. Now, if you're online and you're marketing yourself online, if you post once a month, it's regular, it's consistent, but it's going to disappear off whatever feed that you're on, whatever platform you're on. If you post once a month, it's going to disappear and not get seen. So we have to post more frequently than once a month. Once a fortnight, again, it's better than nothing, but you're going to disappear off the feed. People aren't going to see you unless they're waiting for you. So once a fortnight, even once a week is better than once a month and better than once a fortnight. But if you're posting just once a week, again, your stuff is going to disappear off the wall instantaneously. You have to post, no matter what platform you're on, at a very minimum of once a day. Yeah, that's what I mean by frequency. Every single day you have to post at least once, depending on the platform. If you're on Instagram, some people tell me that to be seen and to grow your audience, you may have to post across reels and stories and the main feed up to about 10 times a day, which is an incredible amount of work to do. But it depends on the platform. So you have to be frequent. You have to post on a regular basis. And like going to the gym, if you go to the gym once a fortnight, you're not going to lose any weight, you're not going to put any muscle on. You're not even going to get toned up. You have to go, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a week to actually see an effect see results of the work that you're doing. Once a month ain't going to cut it. It might make you feel, yeah, I've been to the gym, I've done a bit of lifting, so you'll feel good for a little while, but it's not going to have a lasting effect on your health. So again, going to the gym 2-3 times a week is about right, depending on what your goals are. And this is where it comes in. You need to know what your goals are. What are you trying to achieve? What do you want to do? What does the end goal look like in 6 months or a year's time or 2 years' time? If you're looking to get into a relationship, find a partner, if you only check out the dating apps once a week, you're going to miss out. If you go down your local pub once a month to see who's there, you're missing out. It's about being regular, about going to regular events, about getting yourself out there, about being seen. If you only go out and walk around your town once a month, how on earth do you expect to actually meet anyone? Now, okay, Sod's Law might say that you might bump into one by chance, but if you're out once a month, that's not going to happen. It's the same with looking for new clients. If you're only making 1 phone call a day, if that's your way of prospecting for clients, what are the chances that that one person is going to be interested? Highly unlikely, unless someone's sending you really, really targeted leads. So we need to make more than 1 phone call. I was on a podcast yesterday for newly qualified personal trainers, and we were talking about this habit that a lot of PTs have, that when they're in the gym, they're either talking to their mates or they're stood behind the desk messing around with their phones. Is that getting them any new clients? Of course it's not. No way. If they go and talk to one person that's not a friend of theirs in the gym every day, are they likely to get a new client? Well, if their closing rate, if their hit rate is 1 in 10, then every 10 days they may get 1 new client. But guess what? If they spoke to 10 new people every day during their shift in the gym, then that ups the possibility of getting a new client. If it's 1 in 10, then that's 1 client a day rather than 1 every 10 days. But you need to know your numbers, you need to know what your end goal is, but you have to be doing it regularly, frequency, once a day, 5 times a day, depending on what it is you want to do. There's no point in going on a diet 3 days in a month, because you're not going to lose any weight 3 days in a month. There's no point eating clean 3 days in a month. You've got to eat clean every single day, or 6 days, and then have a cheat day maybe. But if you want to lose weight, you have to be consistent, and you have to use the frequency of eating clean every single day. There's no point in thinking, well, I'll have a nice meal, a healthy meal today, and I'll have a crappy meal tonight, and then I'll have a nice meal for breakfast and have a crappy meal at lunchtime. It doesn't work. You have to be consistent and frequently eating the right kind of food and moving more to get the result that you want. Now, the last word of consistency, frequency, and persistency: never give up. If you really want something, if you are determined to get an end result, whether that's making your business successful, finding a partner to have a relationship with, losing the weight, learning a language, starting a new business, whatever it is, you have to go through with it, and you have to push yourself. Use whatever motivation necessary to keep yourself going. Because if you give up, that's it. You've stopped. You've got no chance of getting anywhere if you keep giving up. You've all heard the story of the gold miner who stopped digging a yard from the richest seam ever discovered, only for somebody else to take over that claim, carry on digging, hit the seam, become a multimillionaire. Don't be the person who stops digging 1 foot from the gold. Life and business throw challenges at us all the time. And yes, it is so easy to quit. It is so easy to give up. This person here has done it more than once and more than one occasion. So I know what I'm talking about. Quitting is simple. It's a piece of cake. oh, it doesn't work, or just make an excuse. Well, I tried this and I tried that and it didn't work, so I give up. Yeah, I can't be made for this. I can't lose the weight. There's no way I can run a business because look, I haven't got any clients. My posts aren't getting any engagement and blah, 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 blah. It is a piece of piss to make excuses and to give up. You know, this is where you need to give yourself a bit of tough love. You have to keep going. You have to keep doing the work. You've got to be consistent. You've got to be frequent, yeah? And never give up. Yes, there may come a time where you take a serious evaluation of your situation and go, right, okay, I've been doing this for a year now. I've been hitting it hard. I've been consistent. I've been frequent, but clearly something isn't working. So I need to stop this and do something else. That's acceptable. But to give up after 5 minutes, people expect instantaneous results these days. People expect to get qualified as a therapist or as a PT or as an osteopath or whatever, and for people to suddenly be queuing outside their front door begging them to take their money. Well, you know, it doesn't work like that. We have to be consistently marketing ourselves, getting our name known, getting out there so that people can find us, and then doing stuff like this so that people can decide whether they want to know us, whether they want to like us, and whether they want to trust us. And that takes time. Most of my clients, when I talk to them and I say, look, how do you find me? They say, well, I've been following you for 6 months, Paul. I've been watching your lives, been reading your posts, but, you know, I didn't comment, or I didn't sort of share, or didn't like or give any love to your posts. I've just been following you because I'm not that kind of person. And then I realised that you were the one I needed help from, so I sent you the message. Just because nobody's watching your live, just because nobody's responding or engaging to your post, I mean, they're really, really good when they do that, it doesn't mean that people aren't watching. There are people watching you right now. And this is why it's so important to be consistent and post frequently and never give up, because the day you give up is your yard before the gold seam. That client was going to call you the very next day, and you giving up means they're going to call somebody else, or they might not. You're depriving somebody of the help they need if you give up, because they're going to have to start the whole cycle again of finding somebody else to know, like and trust. They were going to contact you, but you've disappeared. You've gone off the radar. You've gone off grid. And that's not good, because that person needed your help, and they were about to pick up the phone, metaphorically speaking, and contact you, but you're not there anymore. So you're doing them a disservice by disappearing, by being infrequent, by not being consistent. And I can't stress this enough. The people that need your help will contact you and get in touch when they are ready. That might take a day, a month, a year. It doesn't matter. That's why you have to keep going. We need to be, both of us, we need to be consistent. We need to post frequently, and we need to carry on and not give up. I know it can be frustrating. I know it can be upsetting. I know it can feel like you're banging your head against a brick wall. That's all part of being in business. Everyone I've spoken to that's been in business for more than 5 years, 15 years, 20 years, they all tell me the same thing. The first few years are really, really hard because you don't see a lot of results for your output, and it can be frustrating. You can want to throw the towel in, but the best bits come when you push through that and you start to see results. You start to see gains. You start to see people coming to you, and your name gets spread around the place. So, to recap, be consistent, post frequently, market yourself on a consistent basis, on a regular basis, not just once a month, not just once a fortnight, but depending on the platform, at least once a day, at least once a day. And then just never give in. Don't give up, because you might be that person that gives up 1 yard before the seam of gold. Don't be that person, because you'll kick yourself forever and a day. So I've got a question for you. What do you do to keep yourself going? What motivational things do you do? what works for you to keep you along this process of whatever it is you're doing. Do you have mantras? Do you have people you talk to? Are you just really bullheaded and just keep pushing, pushing, pushing? Do you have some goals set? What have you got going for you that keeps you pushing forward, that keeps you moving so you can see this thing through to the end and beyond? I would love to know. Drop me a line in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye now.